It's now time now. It's been a long day. Got some relaxing clothes on. Let's see what we got here. Did that. Seems like everything's all set for tonight. Who the fuck was that? Who was there?
Who the fuck do you think it is?
Look at that. That helps. Come on in, I guess. Guten Tag, my friend. German Fury? Hey, welcome back, man. I see nothing has changed from the past year I've been gone. Yeah, I've been trying to keep it under, basically the same look so that way you won't notice anything different, but... Weird. How you been, man? It's been a long time.
Yes, I've been gone for a very long time. I know that for a fact.
So, what have you been doing?
Well, let's just say I took the role of Kaiser and moved the militarism, do some little bit of a fighting in the front lines as Napoleon did.
Huh, just like Napoleon. So, in other words, you had an empire, and you lost it all in a great war.
Well, you don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still your emperor, I just went to field marshal.
I don't think that's the reason why you changed your role between Kaiser and now the field marshal.
Look, I get sick and tired of people not taking me for real. They like the fucking Russian Fury. They like the Napoleon Fury. But they never liked the Kaiser. Why? Just because I look like a general doesn't mean I'm always a general.
Well, I'm sorry, man. People like them characters. And besides, you're not on all the time doing this. And plus, maybe they like the different accents they do. It's what they do.
Well, whatever.
Anyway, why are you here? I mean, usually 9 times out of 10, when you come over here, you want something.
Do you have that shipment of that staff that I sent?
Yeah, it's on the bed over there.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see.
There it is. Yeah, I remember this stuff. Got it at a pawn shop. Not the most best gift, but it's something.
Hey, American Fury, what's up? That's how you Americans put it.
Wait, Russian Fury? No, this is bad time.
Oh no, it's the Russian Fury.
Hey, it's my favorite fascist dog. Guten Tag to you, motherfucker.
Should you be sucking on a bottle of scrumpet somewhere?
First of all, it's called vodka. It's our energy life source.
Vodka, whatever it is. Shouldn't you be barbarians doing that?
Every time.
God, I wish that you were just drinking regular fucking tea.
Who the fuck put piss in my vodka? What just happened?
Aha. You know what? I want you to be John.
What just happened? Why am I German? The fuck? Put me back in Russia, you motherfucker!
Well, yeah, your accent doesn't do well. Yeah.
Okay, I'm back as a Russian Fury. I have no craving of chocolate no more for some strange reason. Is that what you Germans do?
What the fuck was in this stuff? Liked it, but what the fuck? I ain't drinking this shit no more.
I'm starting to like this. Wait a minute. I have the ultimate power to change anything. I can do whatever I want now. Oh, and I know what just to do. But first, I need a seat.
Would you kindly move from your seat there? Yeah, just don't turn me into anything. I'll just sit over here. Danke. Aha. I think I'm gonna like this, after all. I think we can make some few changes, but first, there is one change I want to do. Something I always wanted done.
You want to make the SS over Europe again?
No, I don't want to bring them back.
Oh, thank God.
They fucking ruined Germany. They fucking made an insult to us. I'm the Republic of Germany, not the fascists. They fucking should be burned to oblivion. Actually, you know what? If hell doesn't exist now, Hitler's burning in a fucking flame of fire now.
Wait, you're not gonna make Russia a slave to you, aren't you?
No, I don't want that either.
Wait, are you gonna throw that German president we have now and try to bring back the old Prussia?
Well, that's a possibility, but not that. What I want... I want the Swedish premium tank, the Primo Victoria from Zoboton.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious. The band is a really good band in Europe. I like their music, and I like the way how they describe history. They should have their own tank. You know what? I think I'm gonna do it. Just did that. And American Fury, you're gonna review it.
Me? Why me?
You're my friend. You're my favorite comrade. I want you to actually review this tank because I have faith in you. Otherwise, if you don't, like I said, I could turn you inside out faster than you could say chicken shit.
Jesus Christ. No, I'll review it. I'll review it.
Here, got the game controller right here. I'll review it.
But I'm gonna have a friend to help me with it too.
Good. Here is the Zoboton tank Primo Victoria.
Oh boy, I just hope he doesn't turn him into a frog if something bad happens.
through the gates of hell as we make our way to heaven through the Nazi lines. Primo Victoria.
Now, the Primo Victoria is a British tank?
What?
Wow. I'm assuming with the T-bit joke a few minutes ago, I think you're starting to turn more British there, fascist.
Oh, frickin' shove it, you frickin' you Soviet dogs.
Look, I picked the British one because of two main reasons. One, it was based off the tank they had on band. And two, they actually played this tank on stage, but I have no clip of it. But there's a clip of this where he's actually made the tank.
Hi, my name's Jamie Sims. I built the tank for Sabaton. Per came to me and expressed his desire for this beast, and he gave me a few pointers as to what type of features he would like on the tank. But he didn't want it to be a specific tank. He wanted it to be the Sabaton tank. So he pointed out, I like this, I like this, I like this, but then he gave me a free range to design it. So I designed the tank on a computer and with drawings and sent them to him, got them approved, and then this is the result. The surface of the tank is covered with skateboard grip tape and stuff, so that the guys can run up and down on it and do their solos and whatever and not fall over. It's really excellent for that solo skateboard grip tape. The cannons up here are made to echo the shape of the bass drums. That's why Per wanted big Gatling gun round cannons. It's, war memorabilia like the helmets to dress the set with, and then we make the ammo boxes. These are actually snare boxes. They were originally snare boxes, although it took 8 months to make and to cost in the region of £50,000.
Now, it would be really cool to make that on stage, but my staff doesn't seem to work half the time, and I can't make that into a tank. Hopefully, sometime, I could probably go to Wargaming Directory and turn it into it by magic. But seriously, I don't know. It's probably... World of Tanks is filled with dark magic. I don't think I'd be able to do it.
No, it's because you're more of a pussy and you didn't want to do it.
Oh, shut up!
The more you know. Okay, now let's talk about the actual tank itself. Let's get to the actual armor depth as the first thing we always review on this. Alright, the strongest part of the tank is the head itself, probably making it the strongest, basically, of this British type kind of vehicle. It's basically got, around the layers around the gun, is basically 230 millimeters of armor, making it impossible for some tier 8s and 9s to pen you in the head, making this tank ideal for hold downs and sniper positions. As the inside of the gun barrel, it's also basically 190. Well, 191, but still at one point. Then you got the side of the gun, which is basically 170. Not really bad. It's got the whole frontal part of this tank, one of the hardest to pen head on to the gun. Now, most people say, well, nobody's going to aim for the goddamn gun mantlet. But here's the problem. If this thing's sniping, what's the only big target you see from a long range distance? It's head mantlet. So you're going to assume to shoot that more than any part on the tank. And that's heavily armored. And the inside, between all those lovely crested things, is 125 millimeters of armor inside the main gun. So, in conclusion, when you look at the whole head, you got all this big-ass fucking problem in the front for any tank that doesn't have a good howitzer gun to penetrate through the head that easily, making this, like I said, ideal for hold-down position tanks. Now, let's get back to the other thing. But unfortunately, though, the spec head of the thing is basically 80 millimeters. It's just weak on the side, and the frontal plate armor is a little bit weak. And no, the vest, which I did not mention, the vest is basically off. Hang on, I'll show you a picture. This guy right here. Yeah, the vest is based off
that design, but it does not give you space armor. So don't be fooled thinking that's like, oh, that's a little bit of space armor, we can use that as an advantage. No, they didn't add that in the game. So no, you can't have that as a space armor. So that's basically 80 millimeters, but with the angle, it's 85. It's a lot weaker at 90 degrees, but when you angle it, it becomes stronger to 90, making it very hard to hit it when it's angled. Now, inside the layers of inside the tank, on the track side, we have only 40 millimeters. Not that strong inside the tank, but here's the thing that I like about it, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but the top part of the head, like some of the back end, some of the side parts, is basically 31. Now the top roof is basically 30 millimeters in the front. So if someone's taller than you, like say for example Kaiju, you know, Ni, Oho, Type 4, Type 5 heavy tank, aiming down at that, yeah, that'd be a big problem, but for smaller tanks, it's not bad. Like if you go up against an IS-3, it won't be able to hit that. But Arties will definitely love shooting you. And then you got the tracks itself, plus some skirt armor. Meaning this thing has space armor on the side a little bit. So going back to the actual armor depth, you got to shoot through the 20 millimeters of armor, plus the track armor 20 millimeters. Then you have to shoot the basically 40 millimeters. So that's a lot more stronger when it's angled, making it harder to pin it when it's angled like this. And there you go. Now let's get to the actual equipment pieces. Now, horsepower is 650, power ratio 12.79, forward speed is 50, reverse speed 20, chance of fire 20%. Now this tank's not that bad. It's mobile, as would you expect from a medium tank. It's not the fastest, it's not the slowest, it's average, but it makes it like decent. Now the gun itself has a reloading time of 7.50, which I got it down to 6.53. So that makes it a little bit better, and I think that's the farthest I can get to besides with the other problems it has. And trust me, the gun has some problems, so it's not all perfect, but it's got a little bit of problems. Aiming time, 2.30. Again, that's one of the problems. Aiming time's a lot slower on this. But if anyone's used to the Huntsman and stuff, you will know that. Accuracy at 100 millimeters, 0.33. It's ideal for sniping, but not like accurate sniping. Maximum range, 720. So that's pretty good. Maximum elevation, 18. Maximum depression, 10. Like a German vehicle. The depression on this tank is good to aim down when you're upwards on a hill, making that head armor that many people are saying, like, I won't shoot that, I'll shoot above it or shoot anything, making it ideal for you sitting at a downward hill, pointing upwards or over the hill, making it harder for them to hit your weak spots, making it ideal for mountain camping. Rotation speed is basically 36. Again, not too fast, not too slow. Resistance 1, 1.1, 1.9. Now this thing gets tracked easily a lot, like very, very easily. So if I were you, if you want to get this tank, you have to have track repairs or pack it with a lot of equipment repair kits because it does repair really slow, and without no repair kits and without no perks to repair it fast, you'll be sitting on the battlefield hoping to God that nothing will hit your tracks repeatedly. Okay, maximum viewing range is 400. Again, good tank for that. It's like a German kind of way, so it's actually pretty decent. Rotating speed 36. Not bad rotating speed against other heavies and stuff like that in light tanks. Not pretty bad. Single range, obviously we know, 710, even though it was 720 in the other one, but it's 710 for the actual radio crew. And its ammunition is literally up front
here, I'll show you. Right there. And a little bit right there. Those are the 2 ammo crate spots. Now let's locate the band. We got the driver sitting down there in Lonely, right near the vest armor. Now this one's going to be tricky because I gotta have to do an overhead view of these guys because it's very hard to see it. But you got the reloader here, an accuracy guy here. And then you got the radio man tucked in the back right there. Sorry, hang on. Let me get a better view. Right there. And of course, you got the leader of the band sitting so comfortably on that little commander's hatch right here. So yeah, that's the crew place. Now let's talk about its ammo. Now, the price of these bullets. This tank only shoots APCR and high explosives, making it ideal for sniping. Unfortunately though, APCR is okay, but at long distance you have more of a less chance of penning because of the impact that the bullet has at long range. You have more of a chance to where the gun will not pen it that well. It's kind of hard to explain it, but if anyone have ever drove the Fatherland and you try to snipe with it and then you realize when you pin something that's easily but it bounces off on a completely weak side, they will know what I'm talking about because that's what happens with APCR. They have the greatest pen in the game, but you have to like get in medium kind of range or a little bit long range depending on how good your gun's voltage is. Now voltage is just like how far the distance the bullet can go. Like this one can go, let's see, for a long range, it can go, wow, pretty impressive, 226. Making it good for sniping, because that's like a German's Tigers kind of gun freaking voltage right there, shooting long range, making the pen, making it decent. And the premium is 258, and basically high explosive is 48, which is not that great. That means like up close of shoving up their barrel right up their ass. And even that won't pen. But back to the bullets. Your damage average on this is 173 to 288 for the normal rounds, a penetration of 170 to 283. And the cost of one bullet is 680. So that's not bad. That's pretty good money making. It's not the greatest money making like the Foch, 50T and the Super Persian and all these other tanks or the Jag Tiger 88 that has ridiculously reduced its price down to 250, but not a bad tank for shooting APCR. If you know how to use APCR really well, this would be really great, especially British drivers who know this tank. Same thing, damage with the premium rounds, but the pen is 194 to 323, and it's 4,400 a shot, making it a little bit more expensive. You only need like maybe 13 up against tier 10s. Your regular APCR can do a lot of damage still, but up against like really heavies, like head-on collision to an E100 and stuff like that, you want to have some of those premium bullets to try to aim for those weak spots in the front, trying to get them. So yeah. And this one, I don't know if you really need it, but this one's good against artilleries and light tanks only. High explosives, damage is 210 to 350, penetration is 23 to 53, and the bullets is only 170. Again, you don't really need these bullets unless you're going up against a light tank that's really light armor. I mean, like a tank that has 20 millimeters all around it, and if it's angled, forget it. If it has track armor on it, forget it. But yeah, this tank mostly uses APCR as its most standard round. Alright, now we talked about it, now we can actually talk about my personal thing about it, because I'm going to bring in a special guest in a few minutes that's going to talk about this with me and play a match with me. So, what do I think about this tank? It's plays at the tier 10s. Okay, I understand that because of the tier 10 gun. But I don't like it in tier 10s. I mean, tier 10s, you could fight a tier 9 with this okay. You could fight a tier 8 with this perfectly fine.
But up against a 10, it's not going to survive. I mean, yeah, you can trick them. You can have the hold down head armor, but it's still not going to survive a Hulk on collision course to a Hesh round from a Death Star, a fucking Waffle E100's autoloader, unless you are really clever using that head armor of yours. Because the head armor can't block their tier 10 guns. It's just, it'll be one of a million dime if you got to make sure they're dumb enough to shoot that, but still. And of course, I should mention, the band leader you get in this is actually the leader of the band. And it's really cool to see him in the sunglasses and everything else like that. Now, it's too bad you can't see his little hair, his mohawk on the top, but I guess the words blocked it. So it looks like a very pissed off Cuban G.I. Joe kind of way. Sorry, man, I love your music, but the picture does look like a G.I. Joe pissed off. Just with a Cuban uniform. What else do you get with this? When you buy the tank, you get Primo Victoria, which is only complete by 15 turns. You must play the Tier 8 Primo Victoria medium tank 15 games, and you get times 5.00 XP boost. Again, very good, especially if you bought the expensive one, which gives you 20 times 4 XP crew boost. You can get like 4 or 5 perks in less than like a couple of games if you win them. You got to make sure you win them, though, because this odd doesn't work unless it says right there, win a battle. But there's one more thing I want to talk about, too. Well, actually, 2 more things. Sorry, guys, I forgot. There's the price of the tank. Now, the price will go down. I don't have it up there, but it has it up to basically 13,600 gold that I bought, which was not a bad deal. See? Oh. Never mind, 13,010. I mean, 100. I guess thank you for correcting me, Wargaming. But the cheaper ones will come out. There's going to be a 3 times one, and there's going to be a standard one. So if you got time to do that, see, it's showing it right now. So if you got time, if you want this tank, go for the very last one. Unless you want times boosts to get your Swedish officer, if you really like this guy in real life, like I do as a musical. You want to get him really up really quick, that would be fine too. But trust me, the tank itself is going to be 10,100 gold once it's done. But there's one thing that does make me mad about it. I mean, the tank itself is inaccurate as a little bit hell. It's going to take a while to get used to the gun. But anyone who's drove the British Huntsman, drove the FV202, and drove the Chieftain T95, you're going to get used to that type of gun. It's not British-like, but you get used to it pretty quick. But there's one thing I don't like. There's the bands I have to talk about. And I don't like this setup. Okay, you know in PC, you get all the bands and you get to show all the crew, like one's the driver, one's the reloader, one's all that. Which would make it cool on PC because then you can name every crew member in that tank your your special friend or family or actual real life people in real life who fought in tanks. Well, in this game, you only get the commander's officer, which that's okay. Nobody really makes a big deal about it. But instead of having all the crews in one bundle, the only way you get the entire crew is what you're seeing down below. I'm not joking. What I'm highlighting right now. To get all of the 4 crew, you have to pay 9,600 gold. That is easily freaking $47 or $50 easily. And what do they give you if you bought it? Well, they give you all the crew members of the Swedish people, like the Primo Victoria, the whole band. That's a very tight set. Keep the band together and recruit all the rest of the crew, which is fine. But all they have is unique perks as Brotherhood of Arms. And I get it. It's because of the musical they do, and it's their code of thing. But that's just robbery. That even anyone would think that's fucking stupid. I mean, you have to be a hardcore frickin' Zabuton band collector to pay this, because not only this, you're paying $50 for the tank itself, the actual tank. Then you're paying $50 for the entire crew. You're spending $100 on one tank and crew members that you can't put all in one tank. You have to put them individually in different tanks, which is fine if you like the band. I mean, they have them separately. Like, if you like any of the other different bands, all there individually and buy them separately. But still, the fact is that it costs way too much money for one officer. Does that mean... Hey, hang on. Does that mean, like, if I go to Germany real quick... Hang on. I'm just giving an example. Germany. Here we are. I'm just gonna... Yeah, that's like if I had my officer on sale. Does that mean that this officer gonna be the first time ever 150,000 gold for one officer with 20 perks? You see what I'm getting at? Who would want to pay that much? Honestly, for 150,000 gold, you would think you want to pay more tanks, more garage space, more camouflages on them tanks permanently, more crew training. Or, like anyone else that wants to save their money, go out and buy a new game or save it for another tank that you want and save it for a rainy day. This joke right here, I'm going to rate right now, is a 2 out of 10. Not because of the band. I love the band to death. I love them. But this is high rail robbery for just a crew with one perk. Brotherhood of Arms. If it had 5, 6 perks, then I would understand these guys. Because having 5 or 6 perks takes a while and it will consume you. So having just one perk is high rail robbery. So I refuse to buy them. As much as I love Zoboton's ban, I'm not going to buy the entire crew. Which is sad because I wanted to, but I buy things in value. Yes, I buy things for reviews, but I get to keep the tanks. I get to play them anytime I want. And I'm reviewing it to you guys to see if it's worth it to you. But this is fucking ridiculous. So, yeah, for my final verdict, it is a 2 out of 10. I mean, I would give it beat Celeste 1 because I love the band and I give them a 1 point up because I like their music, I like what they do. Hell, I love their custom tank now that you just saw. But just the band itself, where PC gets the whole entire band and we have to pay individually to get these band, is stupid. So if I were you, just buy the tank. Don't buy the crew members. But that is your choice. If you're a big fan of it, go right ahead. But don't feel sad that you bought $100 and something else comes out and you want to get that, or $100 to something else. And I warned you guys. So, my final verdict on them, 2 out of 10. Okay, guys, we did the review and stuff, but I'm not doing this alone. Here's a big fan of the Zoboton group. This is, you obviously know him from the Zombie Trilogy we done, and some other Let's Plays we did. The Valmok 43.
Hooray.
Hooray. Never ceases to amaze me.
That was great. Alright,
Well,
let's get into this thing.
Yeah, since you're basically a big fan as such as I am, why don't you talk about it a little bit, since you like this big band so much?
Well, they are absolutely amazing. Now, I don't know, a long time ago, I was like, there should be a band that sings about history, or, military history, like what Zoboton does, and I had no idea they were around since like 1999. So I found them just at random, and I listened to them ever since. So yeah.
Yeah, Zolotone has been around for a long while. They've done a lot of songs too. They even did the Swedish national anthem.
Swedish national anthem. They did an entire album with Swedish history with Charles XII of Sweden and his reign, and also Gustav Adolphus in
Yep, that was a good one.
um, the 30 Years' War, and their latest album, The Last Stand, which has to do with the last stands of militaries throughout history, like the 189th Swiss Guard during the sack of Rome in 1527, and also the Battle of Castle Itter in 1945 with the Wehrmacht and the U.S. fighting against the SS.
Yep. See, this guy knows all the songs. Me, I know like a couple of them. Like Primo Victoria was one of my favorites, and I'm glad they bring a tank out of it. Which the funny part is, oh shoot, my battery's almost dead. Yeah, let's talk a little bit more. I'll be right back.
Alrighty. Well, why he is Ataris, and obviously became unprepared for what was going on today. Now, an interesting fact about Zabaton. The band was actually named, had different name before it became Zabaton, and it was very weird. It started with an A. I completely forgot what it was called, but Joachim Broughton, the lead singer, came into the band, and they asked for, well, he actually came into the band to become a keyboardist, and they asked for him to actually become a lead singer instead of being a keyboardist. So he's been in the band ever since with Per Sandstrom, which is the bassist, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys.
And now he's back. Good.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was back, but I didn't want to interrupt. Yeah, sorry about that. I should have checked. But yeah, after this video's done, guys, go watch some of the music videos. You would not be disappointed. Yeah, they speak different languages, but still, it's not pretty bad. It's actually pretty cool what they do.
A lot of their songs are all dealing with military history. They are a power metal band / heavy metal. It's kind of a mixture, because you can obviously hear a keyboard in most of their songs, but they do go heavy metal sometimes.
Yeah, so if you're into heavy metal history...
Really
Sorry. Yeah, not to interrupt you. Yeah, if you're into heavy metal and history, yeah, I would recommend looking them up, guys. You will not be disappointed in them. They're one of the great. They're actually really famous over Europe. That's why a lot of Americans don't know the band.
Yeah,
like,
they're actually they're like absolutely like really famous in Europe, and especially coming from a Scandinavian background where rock and metal are all typical like that very popular music in Scandinavian countries. And surprisingly, they actually have a cruise which is coming up in 50 days from now.
oh, that's something I have to look in.
Yeah, they have people come up on a boat, and they'll go around the Baltic Sea and play each day. People seem to have fun. I obviously haven't experienced it because I've never been to Europe, but
I have, but I didn't know they did it soon. I may have to look into that. Yeah, but not to interrupt you. Yeah, it's kind of funny, guys. I've been to Europe, so I know what it's like. But even though the guy's name, the Wehrmacht, he hasn't been in Germany, so
yeah.
So don't feel bad for him. But he's pretty good at it. You can even honestly could tell he's like he sounds more like German. No, you can fit in with the Germans really well, though.
Well, yeah, because I had both of my family members came over with the Pennsylvania Dutch, except one of my sides. They came in probably a little bit after World War I. But
Yeah, but my friends on from other places, not the ones from the channel, because I know who watch it. And if you do watch it right now, thank you guys for supporting me. But also the Koreans, thank you so much for supporting me too. And yep, I talked too much and I died. But we're gonna look at the other Primo Victoria. But yeah,
I'm alone over here.
so, because they were asking me, and like some people were asking me, like, is he really from Germany? It's like, yes, and a little bit of no.
No. Yeah.
We can
I'm
just
like
go with
third
it.
generation from German descent, but it's close.
But anyway, back to Primo Victoria. Yeah, this tank, even though I just goofed around and talking, because I'm actually the first time ever I'm talking while playing the game at the first time. As you can kind of tell, I kind of do bad doing that. That's why I have to put like audio logs and stuff in
Oh
it.
no.
But this tank is not really bad doing its
Wow.
job. I mean, excuse my friend for missing, but it's one of those tanks you have to,
I know,
like I said.
I miss a lot. It's bad.
Yeah, it's one of those tanks like the British style. Sit there, aim a little bit, then fire. It's the protagonist of what a German vehicle a little bit. Because most German tanks, you can sit there, you can swing around, you can shoot with an accurate shot. These tanks, you have to
Just
sit there
German
and shoot.
tanks.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, and here's a funny history about this since he's fighting this guy.
Ow.
If he dies, I'll just look at other tanks. The history is they didn't pick this tank as their first tank. You know what their tank they wanted to pick? A Tiger II. They wanted to pick a Tiger II, but Wargaming thought it would be kind of over redundant to have a Tiger II premium tank yet, so they went for the second choice. This basically this tier 8 Sentinel. I can't pronounce it. It's fucking Britain. I can't pronounce it. Sentinels? No, Sentinel's Japanese. I can't pronounce it, and I'm gonna get so much hate mail for that.
I am like stuck in this area.
I know. We can all see you right now.
Yeah.
Well, you got a TD coming up if you don't stick your head out too much. Oh.
I'm dead.
Well, if somebody else is driving it, I'm just gonna watch him for a little bit until he dies. And don't get me wrong, like, I love this tank, but like I said, I hate it in a tier 10 in the review. I hated it because the gun may be a tier 9, but it's like one of those tanks that'll get obliterated.
I hate it when I get in the tier 10 games. Like, especially yesterday when we were playing with it and we kept getting in tier 10s, and I'm like, I can't do anything. Like,
well, you can do something, but you see what I mean, audience?
Right, but...
Yeah, you see what I mean, audience? It's not just me. A lot of people question my reviews a little bit, but it's not just me. It's mostly a lot of people that drive this tank.
I'm actually surprised that we're in a decently fair match, because apparently, supposedly, with Wargaming's matchmaking, if you have two Primo Victorias in a platoon, oh, you're fine. But if you have one, or maybe 4 more people, yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, because Wargaming decides to like, oh, we have tier 9 guns. Let us combine the effort and do all this pushing you up on higher tiers. But that's another review for another time, because I'm going to do also the top 15 reasons why World of Tanks is dying.
War Thunder. Woohoo.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's also another game coming out. A quick update is Wargaming is going to be coming out. I'm looking at this Primo Victoria guy, and he's driving off in the distance. What? Yeah, I know. I goof up, but
Yeah, I supposedly I heard rumored that it is coming to Xbox, but I'm not too sure. I can't play it on my PC because my PC's dumb.
Yeah, but yeah, it's coming to console. It's coming to console pretty soon, guys.
You know what's so good about the Primo Victoria? Even when it's dead, it looks even... It's still good. Evenly still good. You could just
Yeah. Although all his equipment got blown in the back, I could just see the main guy going like, "You fucking assholes! Do you know how much that costs?"
I loved it when my first game with the Primo Victoria, I get ammo racks. Oh,
Oh, I wish I was recorded that.
Good.
Yeah, he's like, and then Rez pops up with a joke saying, "Wow, it's like I know it's a rock band, but it really got its head blown off. Like basically, it went out with a bang."
yeah.
Oh
Like, hey,
man.
it's Sabaton. At least I went out with a bang.
Overall, I'm gonna do the review right here since we're still watching this, and I'll cut to the end of how much credits I made in this, so I could show how much money you can make. Overall, it's a fairly decent medium tank. It's a type of medium tank that snipes, but it has to stay in the back while in cover. I know we didn't do it in this game, but there was 2 of us versus 1 tanks, like a lot of times, so we were using medium aggressive attacks, which is fine for this tank as well. If you're a big fan of the Zubleton tank, I'm going to just say one thing to you. Why are you watching this review? Fucking go buy it. It's a fucking good-ass fucking tank. Especially medium drivers.
$57, go ahead. Spend all your allowance on it.
Yeah, but the one thing I did mention in the store, the crew buying thing though, unless you're a seriously die-car fan, it's not worth getting all the crewmen. Because they're all the same perks and stuff like I reviewed.
Which I'm going to get.
So, while this match is still going on...
my hard-earned cash on it.
But yeah, if you like the Huntsman, if you like the Centurion T95, if you like the Chieftain T95, you're going to love this tank. My final verdict on it for a medium tank player is... Well, actually, I want to see your opinion. Rez, what do you think on this tank?
I think it's got a really good gun. I have pinned a E100 with it, so that's a plus. But there are times where, you know, the gun kind of is a little faulty. It doesn't pin anything. But overall, I think the tank is pretty good. It's, you know, fast.
It's got good frontal head armor.
Yeah. Oh, if people shoot your hatch, no worries. I bounced a mouse with that thing. All right, because apparently the hatch is made out of like 200 million millimeters of steel, but
making it basically the first
overall,
British tank that has that kind of thing on basically a Centurion 7-1 kind of tank.
But this tank is really good. I do agree that it's a good premium tank.
My final rating on this tank is an 8 out of 10. It's a must-own tank, but you will hate it in tier 10s, despite the fact you have a gun. But for medium drivers and good aggressors, I can't recommend this tank to anyone who's a good British driver with a 7-1. So, even though we lost, we still had a lot of fun with it, and that's the whole purpose of a tank, that make fun. And I walked away with 40,000 credits, even in a defeating game. That's a lot of money for just penning 8 shot. So, I'll leave it as that. And thank you all so much for watching, and Vemoc, thank you for participating, and I will see you comrades in the next video. And Primo Victoria!
Primo!
there. I did the review. You happy now? You did well for the review. Very good. But it is time for me to shove off and do some real changes. What do you mean, other thing? Oh, what do you mean by that? Well, I think I'm gonna pay a visit to an assassin to change one course in a flow of a string. And then I am going to rewrite history in my way. Until then, I will see you comrades in the next video. Happy this day. He's gone. Huh. Phew. So is the Russian Fury. Must have booked it right during the review. I don't know what his plans are. I know he hated Hitler for what he did to Germany. But I still remember that Hitler was defeated at the United of the Day. Yeah, everybody knows he got defeated in Africa by a special sniper elite. Fucking got killed by that bell. Everybody knows that. For some strange reason it feels weird. I'll see you guys in the next video.